Hey guys, this is Arcade and today I'm gonna show you some more FL Studio tips and tricks. Some of these are for beginners, some of these are more unknown, so maybe you know some of these, and maybe you don't. Let's find out. Also, this video is brought to you by Skillshare. I'll talk a little bit more about them later, but now let's get to the first tip, which is right-clicking some buttons. It sounds strange, but a lot of people don't know, but these buttons right here can be right-clicked and you can set up some things when right-clicking them. So for example, you can change the metronome sound by right-clicking it. You can have a hi-hat. We can have the tick and the cowbell. Yeah, so you can do that. And another thing a lot of people ask me about is how I do the continuous scrolling. So what you can do is, let's just zoom in, right click on this arrow and choose continuous scrolling. Now enable it as well. And then it scrolls continuously. Otherwise, it would be like this. So yeah, that's what continuous scrolling does. Now you know, if you didn't. So yeah, you can right click these buttons. They do a lot of different things. So check it out. A lot of people don't actually know about that. Tip number 2 has to do with Graph Editor, which a lot of people forget about. So let me just demonstrate that. Let's put a hi-hat in here. And this is the Graph Editor right here. A lot of people don't know, a lot of people don't use it, but it's actually really useful. You can use it for drums or piano roll. So let's just test it out. So yeah, actually the shift function is pretty interesting. You can do a lot of really weird, groovy stuff. So yeah, sort of random and unexpected. It's not really random, but you get the point. So a lot of cool features in the Graph Editor. So don't forget it. Really cool for build-ups when you want to do like build-up snares. Let's just demonstrate that. Something like that, you know, a lot of uses for Graph Editor. That's a feature a lot of people don't use, and they really could because it's really cool. So yeah, the next thing I want to show you is arrangements. So there's this feature where this is your arrangement basically, and you can create another one within the project, change a few things and have multiple arrangements. So if you want to just test out how the song would sound without some of the sounds, you can do so. So let's just play the song right here. And let's say I want to try out a different arrangement. I just click on arrangement and you can add a new one, which will be empty, and you can create a whole new arrangement, or we can, let's delete this one, or we can just clone this one and then change a thing or multiple things, whatever. And then we have two arrangements right here. Of course, this is a really basic project, so it's not as useful, but if you have a big project, it's actually really useful to try out different arrangements and see how your song would sound with different arrangements and with different sounds. And you don't have to like create a new project for that. Now for another trick you can use, and this is a really small one, is you can actually change the samples with the middle click of your mouse. So if you select the sample right here and click on a sample of your choice with your mouse wheel, it will automatically change the sample in your channel rack. So you can do that instead of dragging it, you can just middle click. This brings me to another tip, which is a function in FL Studio called cut itself. So if you have a 808, for example, and you put it like this, the notes will overlap, so it will play out the whole sound, and if the next sound starts, it will continue playing the first notes still. So that doesn't sound really good at all, because the sounds start to pile up and it's not a good sound at all. So you want to right click the sound and just choose cut itself. And now it's clean. Every time next note hits, the previous one stops before the previous one would continue. Okay, so yeah, that's the cut itself function. So that's another useful thing to use when working with 808s especially, but other sounds as well. Now before we move on to the next tip, I want to mention our sponsor, which is Skillshare. And this might actually be useful for you as well. Since you want to learn more about FL Studio, Skillshare would be a perfect site to check out. Skillshare is a platform where you can learn all kinds of new skills by watching classes, including music production. So if you go to music production, you can see a lot of classes teaching you about a lot of different music production skills. And if we search for FL Studio, for example, we get some classes aimed at FL Studio producers. If you are a beginner, I would recommend this one by Riley Weller, which is FL Studio for beginners. And it's about 4 hours and it teaches you all about FL Studio. It's a course made for complete beginners. So if you want to learn more about FL Studio, learn all the techniques that you need to make music, check out this class by Riley Weller. And now, for a limited time, you can use the link below to get a free trial of Skillshare Premium. So don't miss out on this opportunity. And after that, if you want to continue, the subscription go as low as $10 a month. So check it out, learn some new skills, learn more about FL Studio. And now, let's get back to the video. Now I want to show you some underappreciated plugins in FL Studio. So here I have this piano from Flex. And let's actually use Fruity Chorus, which can transform your piano into like a lo-fi piano with a few clicks. Just the default preset works pretty well. So yeah, I think people don't use Fruity Chorus as much as they could, and it's actually a really cool plugin. Maybe pair it up with Stereo Shaper. Use the Phaser 2 preset. And you get a pretty cool lo-fi effect. To get even a better idea of how many plugins there are in FL Studio, check out the plugin picker instead of going to add plugins here. Just go to plugin picker. You can see all the plugins visually, which kind of helps. And for example, we can check out Morphine, which is a cool plugin that people rarely use, and it has a ton of great paths. A lot of presets. So yeah, a really cool plugin that people rarely use. Give it a try, I think you'll find it exciting. And then of course, Fruity Notebook and Fruity Notebook 2. What? Just kidding. I just thought it's pretty funny that there are two Fruity Notebooks. But yeah, I don't know why I would use that. Maybe for like lyrics. Yeah. Another thing people don't know about is that Grossbeat actually has more presets than this. So yeah, a lot of people use Grossbeat and they use these presets, which is fine. These presets are all good, but if you go to presets in here, you can actually get a lot more presets right here. and try out all these different ones. And have a lot of different presets. So yeah, a lot of different presets in Grossbeat that people rarely use. I just wanted to mention that as well. So a few more tips I want to mention. This is a really simple one that I use all the time, and it's save new version. So if you are working on a song and you are about to make like a big change maybe, what you want to do is just don't save it and override it. You can save as and name the song like something else or put a number after it. But if you just do save new version, it will actually automatically put another number after the project name. And if you do it again, it will put the next number and so on. So this is a great way to make sure you don't like mess up your project at some point. I keep saving new versions, and if I mess up the project, I can just go back to the old version that I have saved. That's something I use all the time. And now the last tip I have for you, which can save a lot of time, is pitching or creating automations for multiple sounds with one automation clip. So basically, you're going to use one automation clip, but that one automation clip is going to automate multiple sounds or multiple faders. Let's say I want to pitch these sounds up. I have two sounds. I can use it for any number of sounds, but I have just two. So what I'm going to do is go to the first sound, change the pitch to 12, and I'm going to create the automation clip right here called Flex Channel Pitch, and I'm going to pitch it up, and that will pitch up the one sound that I created the automation clip for. But if I want to do it for another sound, I could, in theory, just do the same thing, create another automation clip, make it the same, but instead what you can do is right-click this and link to controller. So instead of creating another automation clip, I'm just going to link it to the already existing automation clip and disable remove conflicts. And now both of these will be affected by this one automation clip. So both of the sounds are affected by this automation clip. So if I change it, it will change both the sounds. So this is great when you want to use the same type of automation for multiple sounds. So instead of creating multiple automations, you have it all in one, which is great, saves a lot of time. Anyways, that's it for the tips and tricks in this video. I hope you learned some new things, hope you learned some new useful things, and you can go ahead and try them out for yourself. Also, make sure to check out Skillshare, the sponsor of today's video, and get the free trial. Link is below. And other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.